Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us learn a new topic. For that, let me ask you a question. So, have you ever wondered how we get website when we browse? When we browse any website, let's say I open my laptop and in that laptop, let's say I browse. Let's say I browsed google.com. So, have you ever wondered whenever you click enter on browser, you got the website? Is it? Yeah. So you got the website. So have you ever wondered how this happens? What is the background work happens? How we got the Google website whenever we type google.com on browser. So let us learn, let us analyze what happens in the background in this video. Whenever we typed google.com in our browser, whenever we typed google.com in our browser, let's say this is our browser. In our laptop, let's say this is our browser. Whenever I typed google.com and whenever I click on search, then I got the Google website, right? So what happens at back? What happens at back? Actually, what does this browser require, sir? To get a website, to get a to get a website or to request a website, what this browser require? What this browser require to request a website or mainly this browser require actually two things. So this browser require how many things, sir? Two things to request a website. First one is domain. First one is browser require domain name. We can even say this domain name as host name as well. We can even say this domain name as host name as well. And second one is IP address. So based on these two, domain name and IP address, your browser request the website. Your browser requests the website. So now the question is, we just entered what we entered. We just entered google.com, right? What we entered? We entered google.com. What is this, sir? What is this? What is this google.com? This is nothing but domain name, sir. This is nothing but what? This is nothing but domain name. This is nothing but domain name, or else you can say host name, domain name or host name. So okay, we just given domain name or host name to the browser, right? Yeah, we just given domain name or host name to the browser. Then what it requires, sir? To request a website, it also require IP address, right? Yeah, browser also require IP address. Now the question is, how do I get this IP address? How do this browser get this IP address? So how do this how do this browser get that particular domain IP address is the question. So first thing is it need to get the IP address, and after getting the IP address, what it needs to do, sir? What it needs to do? It just needs to connect. It just need to connect with what? It just need to connect with our website. Whatever the requested website, you just need to connect with that website. So After getting the IP address, how to connect? How to connect the website, or else you can say how to get the website. Connect the website. Connect and get the website. How to connect and get the website. After getting this IP address, how to connect and get the website. So these are the two things which happens at the background. What is that? Getting IP address. After getting IP address, my browser was connecting to the website, and then we got the website page, and then we got the website page. Now, in this video, in this particular video, let us see how to get IP address, how to get this IP address. So, in this video, let us learn how to get the IP address. Okay, let's say I typed google.com in my browser. How browser will get? Actually, google.com is a domain name. How to get the IP address? How to get the IP address? So to get the IP address, browser will ask, how browser will get this IP address, sir? Browser will get this IP address by using DNS. By using what, sir? By using DNS. By using DNS. So what is this DNS? ये DNS क्या है? DNS stands for Domain Name Server. DNS stands for Domain Name Server. Domain Name Server. So, okay. So, what is this DNS is? DNS is a domain name server. So, what is the role of this DNS? The role of this DNS is it keep track of all host names as well as IPs. So it tracks all host names, as well as IPs. It keep track of all host names as well as IPs. Now let us ask a question. So what does this DNS do, sir? If we provide host name, if I provide host name to this DNS, let's say if I provided the host name to this DNS, then what does it provide, sir? It provide me IP address of that host. It provide IP address of that host. So in similarly, if I provide IP address, to this DNS, if I provide IP address to this DNS, do I get my host name, sir? Yeah. Since it is having host name, we can even get the host name as well. Now let us see how to get this and what is the process which happens in between. Let us see and analyze how it was just happening. So for that, first to get the IP address, first my browser goes to request, my browser at first goes and request, one thing. What is that? That is local DNS. That is what, sir? Local DNS. Local DNS. Now my browser just go and request my local DNS to get the IP address. Hey, local DNS, I have this domain name, or else I have this host name. I want the IP address of this host name. Please provide this host IP address for this host name. Now, let us say if this host name is previously browsed, then that was saved in this local DNS. Then the particular IP address for that host name is saved in the local DNS. So this local DNS can able to provide it to browser. But let us assume I typed this google.com for the first time. Let us assume I bought a new machine. Let us say it may be mobile, or else you can say it may be laptop. I typed only once. At the first time, I opened my browser and searched google.com. At this time, does this local DNS contain the IP address of google.com? No, right? No. It does not contain the IP address of google.com because we just opened and typed. Sir, can you tell me at which location this local DNS will be? Under the root directory, under EDC, we have host. Under root directory, under EDC, we have host. At there, in our local machine only, this local DNS will be present. At there, we're having all the IP addresses. We're having all the host names as well as the IP addresses corresponding to our previous searches, search results. So our browser firstly requested this local DNS for the IP address. Since no data present in the no data about IP address for this domain present in the local DNS, what happens, sir? Now this local DNS again requests RNS. This local DNS again requires one thing, that is RNS. Sir, what is this RNS, sir? Sir, what is this RNS? So let me write RNS here. RNS. This, since no IP address present in the local DNS, it just asks RNS. So, sir, can you provide me the full form of this RNS? Yeah, of course. I'll provide you the full form of this RNS. This RNS stands for root name server. Root name server. So what is this RNS, sir? RNS is a root name server. Okay, sir. You said that RNS is a root name server. Sir, what is the job? What is the job of this RNS? What is the job of this RNS? RNS job of RNS is, root name server job is to identify the request is coming from which root. The request is coming from which root. The request is coming from which root. From which root the request is coming, sir? What are the roots we have, sir? Let us say, what are the roots we have? At the ending, you can see .com is there. .com is one root. Okay. .in is another root. .edu is another root. In similar way, we have multiple roots are there. What is the task of this RNS, sir? This RNS task is to identify, from which root this request came from. Since we requested what? Google.com. What is our root? .com. So RNS just recognizes this is the root This is the root. The root of this is .com. The root of this is what? .com. The root of this is what? For our particular search, for our particular request, the root is what? .com. So it just identifies this root and finalizes this request from .com. So, and finalizes this request just came from .com. Okay. Now RNS sends this request to, again, this request is sent again to top level domains. To where, sir? To top level domains. Again, this is sent to, RNS sends the request to where? Again, to top level domains. So let me write that here. So in short, we call this top level domains as TLDs. Top level domain. We can call it as, in short, we can call it as TLD, top level domains. So what is the top level domain here, sir? Yeah, .com is the top level domain. So now in .com, how many websites are there? Or millions of websites are present in the top level domains, right? Yeah. So or .com, there are millions of websites are present. So now how do I identify? How do I identify this google.com, sir? From all these millions of websites, how do I identify? This top level domains have millions of websites, right? From all these .com websites, how do I identify this google.com, sir? Now again, this google.com is observed, or else you can say identified, by using what? Name server, NS server. So which identifies this google.com, sir? Name server. Now from these top level domains, who identifies exactly our google.com, sir? Our google.com is identified by using name server. Now again the request is moved from where to where? From top level domains to where it is moving? NS server. You can say name server. So again my request is moved from top level domains to name server. You can even say it as NS server. So you can also say this as NS server. Now my request was moved from top level domain to name server. Now my name server gonna find my google.com website. Okay, I find the google.com website, sir. Now what I require? I require the IP address. Who is the guy, sir? Who is the guy who set the IP address of that website? For that domain, who set me the IP address? The guy who sets this IP address is SOA. What is this SOA, sir? Start of authority. Start of authority. This start of authority is responsible for telling the IP address. This start of authority is the guy who is telling the IP address. So now he provides me the IP address. Start of authority is the guy who provides me the IP address. Previously, what happened, sir? The request is came to name server, and then now in name server, I found my google.com server, but now I need IP address, right? So again now I'm requested my start of authority. The start of authority will provide me what, sir? The start of authority will provide me whatever I required, that IP address. So I required IP address is provided by start of authority. So now what happens? This IP address was provided by whom? The start of authority. Now this start of authority will provide me the IP address to the name server. This name server again sends the response to the top level domain, that IP address, and that IP address again send back to RNS, root name server, and then again send back to local DNS. And here whenever at first time this local DNS got any IP address and host name, it just saves it. It just saves that host name as well as the IP address in it. And then again, this local DNS, whatever the local DNS we have, that again send backs the IP address to the browser, whatever the requested browser. For that browser, again that was sent back. Now you can see my IP address got received to the browser. Till now what we have done, sir? Till now browser just got the IP address. We just entered google.com and just typed enter. Now browser asked my local DNS. Since local DNS does not have the IP address of the domain or else host name whatever I entered, it just go through all this process, RNS, TLD, name server, and then SOA. Finally it got the IP address back and then saves in it and then provided to my browser. Whenever I try to search the same domain again second time, then what happens? This browser just asks this local DNS. Since that IP address is saved in this local DNS, it just directly provides to the browser. So it will be somewhat faster in second time compared to the first time. In second time, it was somewhat faster. Hey guys, it's not finished. We just find it, our browser just get this IP address. Now my browser has, what are the things my browser has? Domain name, that is nothing but google.com that I have entered, and the IP address of this Google, or else you can say whatever the domain or else a host name that you provided. For that IP address was just find it, and then now those two are present with the browser. Browser now needs to connect with that website and get that website. So how it happens? I hope till here you understood the video how to get the IP address whenever we requested for a particular domain or host name, how this browser get the IP address. I think you understood. This DNS, what are the local DNS, or else you can say DNS will be the face of it, will provide the IP address to the browser at final. So up to here, we just get only the IP address, not website, guys. Just to get the IP address. Now, in next video, in just immediate next video, let us analyze how do we get the website, how we are getting the website. So I hope until now you have a clear idea of how to get the IP address. So if you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye.